Now over here on the bottom left, I have this button for settings. Now these settings are going to apply to the whole project, and this panel is visible on each of the three views: map, layout, and design. However, the settings correspond to certain aspects of that and not to every view. So let's go through them. When we talk about color, that's going to apply to the layout view. So let me open the layout view. Let's go ahead and open the settings, and let's go to color. So here you have some options for color. Color corresponds to the layout view. You can select to have images in color, and that displays your images in color. The default is they are displayed in black and white. Now you also have the theme of what we call the canvas, which is just this whole screen area inside the layout. So you can have it be pink, black, blue, or dark theme. And as you see, it's just going to simply change the monochromatic display of the layout view. So this isn't going to affect your design at all. It's just for the layout view, because the layout view, we want to avoid making too many UI aesthetic design choices. We want to be focused on content and message. So you have simple monochromatic colors, but you can choose which ones you want to use: pink, black, blue, or dark. Now under text, I have my different options for font settings. Now I can change these however I want, and it's important to note though that the text that I edit on the layout, I am not limited by these predefined options. So the predefined options are heading, subheading, paragraph, small text, H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, and H6. And I don't have to choose one from there. I can customize this manually. I can select whatever size I want. So here I'm setting this to be 102 size. It has nothing to do with these predefined options. However, if I want to just create a consistency across my project, maybe I want to set some rules here and say my heading, for example, is going to be 80, click apply. And now it makes it easier that as I go through, I can select very quickly the heading size, and that's all going to set it as the same size across the whole project. So it's just a faster way of speeding up the consistency in the layout. Now my next option is the canvas grid. I can toggle this on or off, and this just displays these faint dotted blue lines dividing the layout horizontally. So if I select like 2 columns, for example, it's just going to put one line right down the middle, and this just helps me align things properly. Now you also have status settings. So status settings are actually going to affect your map view. So let's go back to the map view, and status settings, I have the option to basically define different colors and names for the different statuses that I'm going to use. Now the status markers correspond to statuses that I might choose to use on my pages and my sections. So a common way that this works is, first of all, you have typical like Kanban style, where you have statuses corresponding to the actual status of the work. So you have to do, in progress, in review, approved, and done. And again, I can edit these, or I can add options. So I could add like in review, for example, and maybe I want to set that as yellow, and now that's going to be in review. So now when I go to my sections, for example, if I click in the middle of a section, I can select the color, mark that as in review, and now it just makes it very quickly to see on the sitemap where my statuses lie. You can also set it for the page. So in the top left of the page, you have this little dot, and you can mark that as well. And again, it just makes it faster to see the status of everything. Now, another way we've seen people use this is to define different colors for different people. So maybe I have Amy working on everything in black. Maybe I have Mark working on everything in pink. And then I can just quickly set those colors for either sections or pages. And then I can tell Mark, for example, hey Mark, go check out the map. Everything in pink you can work on. So that's the status settings.